Good morning, afternoon, or whatever time it is in your zone. This is Tech for Senior, episode 170. Hopefully everyone is having a good long weekend, no matter what country you're in. It is July the 3rd, no matter where you are in the world, right, Huey?
Yep.
Very good. And so thank you for coming. I want to thank everyone who's listening. If you're here in the audience, a big round of applause for you. If you are, of course, listening on YouTube, then thank you for coming as well. And if you are listening to this as a YouTube short, just click the link and it'll take you right to the show. We'll be with you for the next hour or a little bit longer, where we have, after our show, we have, of course, our premiere episode, premiere video, which I'll talk about in a minute. Today in the show, we're going to start with, of course, our security news update. Bob's going to talk about how to find your passwords in Windows. We have a special announcement, which I'll be coming to in a moment. And then we will have Fun with Photos, which is a series that Chris Gould is doing for us. And Huey's going to talk about Uncrop, how to uncrop your video. I think that should be a great video. And then, of course, Bob is going to talk about the essentials of cybersecurity when you travel. So if you're planning to travel this weekend or travel this summer, you'll definitely want to watch this video. Ray, of course, has a music selection for us. And then, of course, we have our Q&A, which will be about 20 minutes, followed by our premiere video. And in our premiere video, we actually have 3 selections. Bob's going to talk about avoiding medical scams. Hey, good one there. You don't want to get caught on that. And of course, just so happened that Jim and Chris are going to talk on Google Photos Update, which she did a year ago. And I'm going to talk about how to stay cool in the summer. I'm sort of snaffling the gadget guy, Bill James's idea for a minute, and I came up with a gadget of my own, and you'll be able to see that today on our premiere video. And I'll be putting the link in the video. I'll be putting the link in the chat for the video. But for those of you who subscribe to our newsletter, you will know that, of course, on Saturday, we put the link to the video and the agenda today, so you'll be able to watch and see what we were doing if you have subscribed to our newsletter. And it's free. You can certainly do that at www.techforsenior.com. There is no charge. We don't have advertising, and we don't sell your email list or anything like that. So we just have two newsletters a week. They come out on Saturday, which of course gives you the agenda for today. And then we have Tuesday, we have our newsletter that comes out, and it gives you the upcoming news of the week, what we're doing, because we have a lot of other services that we offer, such as our Thursday show, which is Tech for Senior Live, where we go over all the news of the week. And we spend some time doing that, a very popular show. So we actually have 2 shows a week. Excuse me, 2 shows a week. This week, we have a birthday boy. Huey, tell us what it's like to have a birthday. I'm not going to tell people how old you are. As I said, I would promise I wouldn't do that. So what have you got to say for yourself?
I don't feel any older. I just, it's one of those things that comes every year.
It does.
And it's not really a birthday. It's a celebration of my birthday.
Right.
I was born a long time ago.
Very good. I want to thank you for doing the show for the last 2 weeks.
It was fun.
Yep, it's fun. I'll be here for the next 2 weeks, today, this week, and next week. And then I'll be taking another 2 weeks off. So you're ready for that? Can you handle it again?
I'll try my best.
Well, I know we have a great crew. So I know Bob helped you a lot. Bob, how do you think he did?
Oh, he did very well.
He did well.
I mean, at age 18, he should know how to do these things. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
There you go. And how are you doing, Bob? Are you any special events today on this long weekend?
No, nothing special. There's something special coming up this weekend. My daughter, number 3, turns 60, and she's got a big bash planned.
Very good. Very good. Well, I have all my family here. As everyone knows, this month is my daughter from Beijing is here. They have taught in our school in Beijing at Western Academy in Beijing. They're administrator teachers there, and they've been there for 10 years. So they're here for 6 weeks, transitioning to their next job in Addis, Ethiopia. So they'll be leaving and heading over towards Addis on August the 5th. So it's a busy month for us.
I do have one thing special, Ron, and that comes out in tomorrow's newsletter.
True. And Ray, are you having a Pine, Arizona? What's happening in Pine? Are you having a quiet long weekend, or what's?
No, it's not holiday weekends up here. They always have on the major holidays a festival where people from the Phoenix area will drive up to get into the cooler temperatures. But it's been in the low 90s to mid 90s up here. So yeah, they're escaping 115, but it's still not considered cool. Yesterday, I went to see the new Harrison Ford Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
I wasn't crazy about it. It tried to capture some of the original. Now, I don't know whether they either didn't capture it or what was great in a movie in the 1980s is no longer great in 2023. So it was all right, but I'm not going to recommend it.
So how old is Harrison Ford?
He obviously is in his 70s. I think he's 75 or 76. Some people say that artificial intelligence has made him look younger in the movie, which would not surprise me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. Very interesting. And Bill James.
Bill, you're muted.
I'm muted. But they did the same thing with Tom Cruise in Top Gun. He's probably in his 60s, but when he made that movie, the first one, he was probably in his 30s. But they say, he didn't look any older on the current movie. But someone's wrote that Harrison Ford is 80, and I think that's probably close.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. I can remember when he did those stunts in the original movie, and you thought, well, that's cool, but he was a lot younger then.
I love those Indiana Jones movies, so I didn't realize there was a new one being made or had been.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. All's good.
All's good. Great. Well, hopefully
gadget tomorrow.
That's right. Another. I hope it's a gadget I can afford. Those last ones you've been having have been a little bit expensive. Okay. Anyway, listen, we got to move on. We'll hold our questions until the Q&A. Bob, do you want to get going? I think we should probably get going on this and get the show moving.
Here is my security news roundup for the week ending June 30th, 2023. DNA testing company failed to protect sensitive genetic and health data, says FTC. The Federal Trade Commission, which has made a complaint in relation to an alleged failure to protect client privacy. The Federal Trade Commission charged that the genetic testing firm OneHealth.io left sensitive genetic and health data unsecured, deceived consumers about their ability to get their data deleted, and changed its privacy policy retroactively without adequately notifying and obtaining consent from consumers whose data the company had already collected. According to the FTC, close to 2,400 reports about consumers and raw genetic data of at least 227 people was at risk. Read more at thehackernews.com. Sharing your credit card with a shady private IPTV service isn't a brilliant idea. In recent years, many people have canceled their expensive cable subscriptions, opting to use cheaper internet TV instead. While there are plenty of legal streaming options available, there's also a broad offer of IPTV services that are specifically set up to deliver content without permission from rights holders. These private IPTV services are often accessed through relatively cheap subscriptions. However, that doesn't mean there isn't money to be made. According to a recent report, income surpassed 1 billion euros in Europe alone. Read more at torrentfreak.com. Did you receive a free smartwatch in the mail? Don't turn it on. Members of the U.S. military receiving unsolicited smartwatches in the mail are being urged not to turn them on. As Defense News reports, an announcement published on June 15th by the Department of the Army Criminal Investigation Division confirms some service members are receiving smartwatches unsolicited in the mail. Unsurprisingly, it turns out these seemingly free gifts are malicious. The Army CID discovered that turning on one of these smartwatches triggers it to automatically connect to nearby Wi-Fi networks, attempt to connect to smartphones, and possibly contains malware geared toward collecting personal and sensitive information, as well as accessing cameras on your device. On top of that, they are being used for brushing, which is a deceitful technique used to boost sellers' ratings using fake orders. Read more at pcmag.com. ℍ𝕠𝕟 suffers major data breach, exposing users' personal data. Android-based phone monitoring app ℍ𝕠𝕟 has disclosed a security breach that allowed an unauthorized third party to steal sensitive data associated with thousands of Android users. As a result of the attack, the criminals gained access to email addresses, telephone numbers, and the content of messages collected on accounts, ℍ𝕠𝕟 said in an announcement on its website, noting the incident took place on June 21, 2023. A further review of the leaked information by TechCrunch has revealed that the data goes all the way back to 2013, when ℍ𝕠𝕟 became operational. The records also contain data from at least 13,000 compromised devices. A majority of the victims are in the US, India, and parts of Africa. Read more at thehackernews.com. A critical security flaw in social login plugin for WordPress exposes users' accounts. A critical security flaw has been disclosed in ManyOrange's social login and register plugin for WordPress that could enable a malicious actor to log in as any user provided information about email addresses is already known. The vulnerability makes it possible for an unauthorized attacker to gain access to any account on a site, including accounts used to administer the site, if the attacker knows or can find the associated email address. WordFence researcher Istvan Martin said, should the account belong to the WordPress site administrator, it could result in a complete compromise. The plugin is used on more than 30,000 sites. Read more at hackernews.com. Alert! New electromagnetic attacks on drones could let attackers take control. Drones that don't have any known security weaknesses could be the target of electromagnetic fault injection attacks, potentially enabling a threat actor to achieve arbitrary code execution and compromise their functionality and safety. The research comes from IOActive, which found that it is feasible to compromise the targeted device by injecting a specific EM glitch at the right time during a firmware update. This would allow an attacker to gain code execution on the main processor, gaining access to the Android operating system that implements the core functionality of the drone. Gabriel Gonzalez, director of hardware security at the company, said in a report published this month. Read more at thehackernews.com. Serious concerns. Top companies raise alarm over Europe's proposed AI law. In an open letter sent to EU lawmakers Friday, C-suite executives from companies including Siemens, Carrefour, Renault, and Airbus raised serious concerns about the EU AI Act, the world's first comprehensive AI rules. Other prominent signatories include big names in tech, such as Jan LeCun, chief AI scientist of Meta, and Herman Hauser, founder of British chipmaker ARM. In an assessment, the draft legislation would jeopardize Europe's competitiveness and technological sovereignty without effectively tackling the challenges we are and will be facing, the group of more than 160 executives said in the letter. They argue that the draft rules go too far, especially in regulating generative AI and foundation models, the technology behind popular platforms such as ChatGPT. Read more at CNN.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel. Avast researchers uncover a disturbing crowdfunding scheme. Please watch my video on that topic by following the link listed. Did you know? Canadians say sorry so much that a law was passed in Ontario in 2009 declaring that an apology can't be used as evidence of admission to guilt. In 1953, Swanson had 260 tons of frozen turkey left over after Thanksgiving, so they packaged them into trays with peas and potatoes, and the TV dinner was born. When Play-Doh was first developed in the 1930s, it wasn't a toy. It was a way to clean wallpaper. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Thanks to a YouTube post by TSG. Just thought you might want to know. And that's a wrap for this week's Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you again next week. And thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to easily get to your Wi-Fi password in Windows 11. Start by selecting the Start menu, then Settings. Once that opens, you want Network and Internet. Next, expand the Wi-Fi settings. Expand the actual Wi-Fi connection you're using. And it's easy enough to see it because it's highlighted and it says Connected Secured. So expand it. And once this opens, scroll down. And you'll see something that says View Wi-Fi Security Key. Hit the View button. There is your network, and there is your security key. So if you haven't already written it down, now's a good time to copy this and write it down so that you'll have it if you ever need it again. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope that helps. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching this video.
Thanks. Thanks, Bob. Isn't it on the bottom of the router?
Oh yeah, you know, if you look for it, yes.
Right.
This is just one way you can do it while you're at a computer. You may not necessarily be by your router, would you?
That's true.
Especially if it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You could be on a laptop and you could not even be at home. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good one. That's good. Excellent. Thanks so much. All right. So now I get to have a lot of fun. This is one of the best things that I get to do on our show, and that's talk about our future of the show and some of the things that we've done and where we're going. I'm going to share my screen, and I want to show you an email that I got this week, and this is how I want to start this section here. And we're going to, let's see here, we'll share. Let's see, where are we here? Now, I think you can probably all see, I know you can't read this, but I'm going to read it for you. And this is a comment I got on our video that we did Thursday on Tech for Senior Live. And it was from a fella from Australia. And he commented and said, "Hi, guys, from Graham in Australia. Just discovered your channel and really appreciate the content. as well as the way you present and your personalities. My wife and I watched the recording of your show. Unfortunately, the time difference makes it impractical to watch live, not yet insomniacs. We are volunteers at our local community health center, where there are a lot of other seniors who would likely enjoy your channel. So we may soon get an increased following as we spread the word. Thanks, and please stay well. So that is that really sums up Tech for Senior and all the hard work we put in as we spread the word around. Now, my thanks really goes to you, the viewers here, for the following reason. We have just under 1,000 videos on our service now that are used by people in 6-8 different countries. We have 750,000 views so far on our show. So this is really a great thing, and I want to thank you, because it's the same group of people, these 70 people that come each week, that support us. You come every week, you cheer us on, and the group, of course, all the group that we have that make these videos, we're all very good friends, get along well together, and we do it because of you. I know that Huey and I talk about this all the time. Bob, you work tirelessly doing your videos, and Ray, I don't know how you come up with this music every week, and Bill James and your gadgets and all the Mac tips and the Windows tips. And I know that Mike Ungerman isn't here this week, but all the work he does. So it is a great group to work with, and we now are broadcasting out to a lot of people. So Hugh and I do struggle with the fact is, what do we do next? How do we come up with something that's better, right? Because you can't just sit back and do nothing. So we have to come up with something better. And so we have, and I have a big announcement today. Now, before I make the announcement, I want to just play you something that this is actually an introduction I did to this individual a year ago. And I want to just play this because I think it sums it up really well, because I've introduced this individual many times. So I want to just want to play something here. All right, let's move on. We, of course, I know what you've all been waiting for. You've all come to listen to Chris Gould and, of course, and Jim from Geeks on Tour. In the introduction, of course, I often say, well, nobody needs to introduce those two because everybody knows them. But you should be aware that Chris is a product expert in Google Photos. That she actually is a platinum product expert. She means that she's sort of at the top of the list. And as a result of that, she recently they flew her to New York, and where she was presented at Google headquarters with a special award this year. And maybe she'll tell us a little bit about that in her talk. But she, of course, has written a number of books on Google Photos. Google Photos is something I guess everybody uses. But the thing about Google Photos is there's been a lot of features added. Like, wow, it's so hard to keep up with all the new features. So I said to Chris, I said, would you please come on the show and please explain some of these new features? And she said she would be so glad to do that. And we are so glad that she is here. And we look forward to your comments over the next half hour, Chris. And that's a picture of Chris getting the award.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tech for Seniors is the Geeks' favorite Monday show. Just so everyone knows, I had to put that in. Okay, but we are geeks, also known as propeller heads, and we can prove it because we have these silly hats that we put on, and that's a lot of fun for us.
So the announcement is, of course, that Jim and Chris will be joining us on staff at Tech for Senior. So they are going to be now part of our regular show, and I thought everybody would like that. And so welcome, Chris and Jim. We look forward to that. So what does this all mean? it means that, of course, they're going to do 2 10-minute segments each month. And so we'll have, as well as the great show video. You won't have to listen to Huey and I blabbing all the time, right, Huey? We'll have some great people. Not that we don't have. Of course, we have Bob, we have Ray, we have Bill, we have all the people, and Mike Ungerman, and now we'll have Chris and Jim Gould as part of our show. So thank you so much for coming. And just so Chris, that'll be twice a month. We haven't figured out exactly what Mondays they'll be on, but we'll have 2 segments. And I'm going to play now their next segment. We really are going to call it Fun with Photos, because Chris is going to talk not just on Google Photos, but on having fun with your camera and all the different settings. So I'm going to play you the second of her installments. You saw one a couple of weeks ago. So let me just play you her Fun with Photos today that she has for us. All right. Let me share the screen.
Welcome to Fun with Photos. Do you take pictures with your phone? Do you have questions about using all those camera settings? And how do you manage your lifetime of photos so you can find and share your favorite memories? I'm Jim, and together with my wife Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Chris has 10-minute tips covering our taking photos with iPhones or Android phones, making photos better with editing and creative tools, and keeping your lifetime of photos organized and accessible with Google Photos. What do you have, Chris?
Today, we're taking photos of fireworks. Have you heard people say that you can't take a good photo of fireworks with a smartphone? 2 things. If you have one of the new high-end phones and you're willing to learn about some of the pro settings, I think you can take award-winning fireworks photos. But that's not what we're talking about. I just want to keep memories. You don't need to learn any of the pro settings. Just take the phone out of your pocket. You're going to get some good fireworks memories photos. I do have a couple of tips, though. So these 3 photos here were all taken with smartphones, either an iPhone 7 or an Android Samsung Note 9 were these photos. I say smartphones take fine photos of fireworks. Keep your flash off. Let me show you what I mean there. And here I have both an iPhone and a Samsung. And if you go into the camera, the flash is that lightning bolt. You want it to have a slash through it. If you tap it, you'll see you have 3 choices: on, off, and auto. You want it off. You don't need to light up the head of the people in front of you, and those fireworks are a long ways away. Flash off. Tip number 2. Use night mode sparingly. Now, your phone might not have night mode, but if it does, it might come on automatically. Let me show you what I mean there. On the Samsung, this little moon here says that it has gone into night mode. You can tap it and turn it off. On the iPhone, it's up at the top and it's gold. I, once again, can tap it and turn it off. Now, you might want to try it. Night mode might give you some nice results, but try it both ways. Next tip is to take videos. These are great video cameras. And when you're at the fireworks, you want to see all the action and hear the sounds. So take some videos along with your photos. And then my number 1 tip is to turn motion or live on. And let me show you what I mean there. On the Samsung, it is this little play button up here. Tap it if it says off, tap it again. I say leave it on. Motion photos will take up more space, but they're worth it when you see what you can do. On the iPhone, it's this little bullseye icon. It's called live. If it says live off, tap it again till it's live on. And you should leave that on. Then the things that you can do are so cool. Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and if you are a follower of our videos, our YouTube channel, you may have noticed that I'm a fan of live photos, also called motion photos. They're called live on the iPhone, they're called motion on the Samsung. It's when you get a few seconds of video along with just a still shot. In this video, I want to show you what you can do with these live or motion photos. There are three main things you can do with motion or live photos. You can pick the best shot out of that 3 seconds worth of video. You can export just the video or get an animated GIF. You can make a movie that includes the motion. Now there are some distinctions depending on which phone you have and whether or not you use Google Photos. I am going to start with the iPhone because in the iPhone, the Google Photos doesn't do this. You need to use the Apple Photos. Here is a fireworks picture, and it looks just like a picture, right? But no, it is a live photo. So that means if I hold down on it, I see the 3 seconds of video. Now, I want to capture a different still frame than this. To do that, you tap Edit, then the Live button down here at the bottom. Now I see a little film strip of all the different pieces that are in this, and I'll say, ooh, yeah, that's the one I like best. You tap Make Key Photo, and done. Now when you're looking at just the photo, you're getting this piece rather than what was originally captured. On my Samsung, I will show you the Google Photos because it works on this, and here is a fireworks photo. It looks just like a photo, but in Google Photos you tap this little play button to see the motion involved. And I want the main photo to be where it's red in there. What you do is you swipe up and that reveals the little film strip. You tap on the film strip and now you can position to get this frame that you want. I like that one. I tap Save Copy. So that's a little bit, now this is an original photo and it is just a photo, but the live photo is also still there. Next is export to video or animated GIF. So what you're seeing right here is an animated GIF of a fireworks live photo. Let me show you how I did that. Here is that motion photo of a fireworks, and if I either tap the 3 dots or just swipe up, then you have a lot of options. This is in Google Photos on the Android, and one of the options is export. Tap export and you have the choice to just get the still photo, get the 3 seconds of video, or get an animated GIF and export. And those are fun. The third thing you can do with your motion photos is to make a movie. This is my favorite. You can do this with Google Photos on your iPhone or Samsung or the computer with the web. I think I'll show you on the computer. So on a web browser at photos.google.com, here's that same selection of photos. This first one, of course, is a video, 16 seconds. This one looks just like a photo, but if I open it and click the play, then you see the motion. So, and that is the case with these next 3. I'm just going to choose 3 to make this quick and easy. I'll select that one, and select that one. Then you click the plus and choose movie. It's done. It's even added music. I don't like that it's portrait, so I click here and change it to landscape. I also am not thrilled with the music, so I click on the music icon, and I think this deserves a Beethoven's Symphony No. 5. Okay, you save that and it becomes an MP4, just a little video that you can share with anybody you want. So those are my suggestions of what to do with your live or motion photos. You can pick the best frame for the shot you want, you can export to a video or an animated GIF, or you can make a movie that includes the motion. So if you're going out on July 4th or any other time where there's celebration with fireworks, don't hesitate to take that phone out of your pocket and snap away. With these few tips, you could end up having something that's really memorable. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jim.
And we're Geeks on Tour.
See you next time.
There you go. Lots of good information for this evening.
Yeah, great comments and great way to do it.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. And you'll be around maybe in the Q&A to answer any questions. Excellent. All right. Hewie, Uncrop. This is really interesting. Can you explain what this is about?
Yeah, to carry on from what Chris was talking about, if you've got a photo and it doesn't quite fill the screen, instead of just making it bigger, let's add more to the picture. And you've all cropped. Well, this is called uncrop, and let's take a look at it. Hang on here a second. Let me get it up here. Uncrop. I'm Huey Poplock. I want to introduce you to a tool called Uncrop. It allows users to transform and expand backgrounds in their photos, helping to create stunning compositions. I am sure most of you have cropped a photo at one time or another. This is the opposite. You have a graphic that is not large enough to fit in a needed space. This tool fills that space. There are 4 types of uncrops. There's portrait, which you see there. Then there's art and texture and landscape. We're going to do portrait first, and I have over to the right some examples, and here's the first one that I'm bringing over. It's this picture. It was created by AI, but it doesn't fill in the spaces that I want. So if we say start, it automatically will uncrop that picture and give us some examples. The first example, the second example. You can see the different ways it does. Let's go ahead, and I like this one the best. No, I like this one better, and we'll choose it and download it. Let's see what it looks like. And there it is. Of course, this was done by AI, so you can see that the faces aren't perfect, but you can see it filled in the spaces, and it looks like it was part of that picture. There it is at 100%, which makes it a little bit clearer. We'll continue with the portrait mode and use a photograph, but this is a photograph of a screenshot, so it's not really clear, but let's see what it does and how it handles it. So it did a pretty good job considering. Remember, AI has issues with letters, so it didn't do well with adding Ron's name or anything to Ron's name. But let's take a look now. We'll go ahead and choose the one we want. We'll download it, and then we'll open it. It's actually done a fairly decent job. Okay, let's try one more photograph, this time of me. It's a single shot, and it had been apparently cropped from a bigger picture, I would imagine. And we're going to then tell it we want to fill in the sides. This is being done in real time, so you're seeing the little circles go round and round, but you'll see that it doesn't take much time. And there's actually at least one of these is pretty good. Let's take a look at them. I think there's too many flowers in that one. And again, you got two screens. Got two screens in all of them, I think. But let's take a look at the one that I chose as probably the best one. Tell it to download. And let's see what it comes out as. And there it is. Not a bad job to use as a photograph with other people with me. Next, let's try one of the AIs that I produced, and it's this one. And we're going to add more on either side of it again, and we're going to click to go ahead and start. And it does real time. So you're seeing the little circles go around until it creates, and it's that fast. AI doesn't handle words very well, so none of these really came out well. But let's take a look at what we've got. And we'll choose one of them to download. But remember that AI does not handle letters and words in graphics very well. As you can see, it didn't hear it either. And I still kind of like this one, so I went ahead and downloaded it. Let's do another in the art category, and this time you may remember seeing this in my Zoom meetings. And this time we're going to tell it to go ahead and start. It then is in a waiting list because this is a very popular site, so sometimes you have to wait a little bit for it to continue and generate. But here's one of the ones that came up. Let's take a look at the others. And that one's pretty good. That's good. I really like that one out of all of them. And so we'll take a look at this last one. We'll go back to this one and we'll tell it to download. And so now we've got a wider picture using that same artistic view. For our next example, let's take the landscape mode and bring in a picture of a landscape. And there it is. Now, this was outside of Las Vegas. Let's go ahead and click to make it wider. Remembering that we don't have to always make it wider. You can make it at the top, you can make it at the bottom, and you can move it around wherever you want. So let's look at what we've got with this one. We've got some pretty good shots, I think. And we're going to choose one of them. And then we'll download it and open it up. I like that one. I like this one the best, actually. And we'll go ahead and download it and open it. And boy, it sure looks like everything there belongs. A feature similar to this is available in the brand new version of Photoshop, but of course it's considerably more expensive. Let's take a look at this picture now. We've got some things at the top and the bottom we want to fill in, and we're going to go ahead and say next. And when we do, it's going to give us 4 choices. Each of those look pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and take a look at all of them and then decide which one I like the most. We'll download it and open it and take a look at it. And it looks very good. It looks very realistic, and it's done a nice job. As our final example, we'll take one that we used earlier, but we're going to move it over to the side a little bit. We're going to move it down a little bit, so we have to have something added to the top of the picture and also over to the side, to one side. So you can move it around any place you want and then fill in the area that's exposed. So we got a little bit of area at the top of the picture, a little bit at the right of the picture, and let's see what it's doing. Now, we are in line. We have to wait a little bit for some other people to have their pictures uncropped. And here's what we got. You'll notice that at the top, the hats added a little bit more to the hats and the top of the balloons. And we added, of course, some people to the right. We'll take a look at the various examples. We'll choose the one we like the most. and then we'll download it and open it up. We looked at all of them. Well, here's the one I chose, and we'll go ahead and download it. And here's what it looks like with the hats and the balloons. You can see the tops of them, and it actually filled in the area to the right as well. So it did a really nice job for us. Let's take a look at the pricing. Right now, there are two levels. There's free and the pro. The free, of course, is $0, and the pro is $7 a month. But you can see that it'll do most everything. It's just not unlimited in the free, but it doesn't tell you how much you can do. Right now, it seems to be unlimited, but we don't know how long that's going to last. So if you want to try it and play with it, now would be a good time. Hopefully they'll keep a free level. And as you can see down here at the bottom, it's available on the iOS, Android, web, and Photoshop, as well as Figma. Here is the website from ClipDrop. It's Uncrop. I'm Huey Poplock. And there you go.
Well, thanks, Huey. That's great. Wow, interesting. I got some questions, but we're going to save those for the Q&A for you.
Okay.
Bob, are you ready to roll?
Here is a checklist to put together ahead of your summer travels. Following that list will ensure a safe and enjoyable summer vacation. Update your electronic devices. Before you embark on your journey, ensure all your devices are up to date. This includes your smartphone, tablet, and laptop. Update often and include important security patches that protect your devices from the latest threats. Cyber criminals are always on the lookout for vulnerabilities in outdated software, which they can exploit to gain unauthorized access to your devices. By keeping your devices updated, you're fortifying your first line of defense against these threats. I would recommend not waiting until the last day to do this. We all have had experiences where an update went wrong, and that's the last thing you want to happen right before you leave. Secure your home network. If you're going to be away from home, consider turning off your router unless you need it for smart home devices. An idle router can be an easy target for cyber criminals. By turning it off, you're eliminating a potential entry point for hackers who might try to compromise your home network. If you need to keep it on, ensure that it's secured with a strong, unique password and that its firmware is up to date. Be wary of public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi networks at airports, hotels, and cafes can be convenient, but they are often not secure. Cybercriminals can easily eavesdrop on these networks to steal sensitive information. If you must connect, consider using a virtual private network, VPN. I can recommend the Avast Secure Line VPN. A VPN encrypts your internet connection, making your online activity private and secure, even on unsecured networks. There are some other benefits to the use of VPNs, such as streaming your favorite TV shows from your country, even if you're traveling abroad. Protect your personal information. Avoid using shared computers for sensitive tasks, like online banking. Shared computers can be infected with malware that records your keystrokes, compromising your personal information. If you must use a public computer, do not log in or enter any credentials anywhere. It is very likely that the computer is compromised, and malware is spying on all activity going on there. Once done, clear the browser history before you leave to prevent the next user from viewing your browsing activity. Enable two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security to your online accounts. It requires not just the password, but also a second factor, usually a code sent to your phone to access your accounts. This means that even if someone steals or guesses your password, they won't be able to access your account without the second factor. Back up your data. Before you travel, back up your data. This could be to an external hard drive or a cloud service. If your device gets lost or stolen, you'll still have access to your important files and photos. Regular backups also protect you from data loss due to device failures or malware infections. Keep an eye on your electronic devices. Never leave your devices unattended in public places. Not only can they be physically stolen, but a thief could access your personal information. Always keep your devices within sight and use biometric security features like fingerprint or face recognition if available. Be aware of phishing scams. Be cautious of any unexpected emails or messages asking for your personal information. Scammers often ramp up their phishing efforts during popular travel times, posing as airlines or travel agencies to trick you into giving up your personal information. Always verify the sender's identity before clicking on any links or providing any information. Remember, cybersecurity is a journey, not a destination. Stay vigilant. Follow these tips and you'll be well on your way to a safer, more secure summer vacation. Enjoy. Safe travels. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye and thanks for watching and listening. My thanks to my friend Louis Carones of Avast for his article which prompted this video. You'll find his article at the link listed.
Thanks, Bob. Good information. Ray, just before we get going, I just want to say goodbye to our YouTube viewers. Thank you for watching. Don't forget the premiere video coming up. We'll see you again same time next week. All right, Ray, take it away.
All right, today we're gonna introduce you to Isaac Thomas, and he is not the typical Juilliard School of Music student. In today's presentation, I'm going to deviate from playing a song and instead today focus on a young star in the classical music genre. Now, I was recently reminded that in its heyday, classical music was pop music, was the pop music of its time. Now, because I'm writing about current events, my go-to source, which is typically ChatGPT, was not helpful. So the following 5 paragraphs are from Google's AI model called Bard. Now, I had a little bit of a problem, not so much a problem with Bard, but I was a little bit disappointed. Let me put it that way. You'll see that in the piece I'm about to read, the word piece, I've underlined it, and it's showing that Bard's use of grammar is not really extensive, that they have to use the same word over and over to describe where they could have said selection or composition. So I kind of just point that out. This is, Bard is new, and I think this will be improved over time. Anyway, Isaac Thomas is an 11-year-old student at the Juilliard School of Music. He's the youngest student to have ever had a piece of music performed at the school's annual Opera Italiana is in the Air concert series. His piece, titled All Around Earth, was selected as the winning performance piece after multiple reviews of Juilliard student compositions. Thomas is a self-taught composer who began writing music at the age of 5. He's inspired by a variety of genres, including classical, jazz, and pop. He also enjoys playing the piano and guitar. Now, Thomas's piece, All Around Earth, is a short, upbeat piece that celebrates the beauty of the natural world. It is scored for a small ensemble of instruments, including piano, strings, and woodwinds. The piece is in a major key and has a flowing melody. Thomas's composition was performed at the Opera Italiana is in the Air concert series on June 16, 2023, at the Central Park Bandshell in New York City. The concert was free and open to the public. Now note, due to inclement weather, the concert was moved to St. Bart's Church at 50th Street and Park Avenue, which just so happens to be diagonally across the street from the office building I worked in during the 1970s. Thomas is a talented young musician with a bright future ahead of him. He is an inspiration to other young composers and musicians, and his work is a testament to his creativity and passion for music. Now, as stated above, Isaac was writing music at the age of 5. Well, honestly, I don't think I could write my name at that same age. When asked about his inspiration as a composer, this 11-year-old echoed a viewpoint I've held for most of my life when he said, how music can unify us all on earth. So for those who worry about the next generation, with kids like Isaac, I think the world is in good hands. Today's link is the complete CBS New York TV news segment, Meet the 11-year-old Juilliard student who composed for Opera Italiana, but I've edited it today for time constraints. And that's an 11-year-old.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that the world maybe is going to be in good hands, eh, Ray?
Yep.
I think so. All right. Well, another our episode 170 is finished now. Wow, that was a great show. We want to welcome Chris and Jim as on staff. I'm sure that we'll enjoy many of their presentations over the next year and longer. We're going to move now into our question and answer period. If you put up your hand, we'll be able to answer your question. Just to remind everyone that we do have our premiere video starting in about, I guess, about half an hour. And again, it will feature Chris's updated Google Photos session. I would maybe Chris will put this in the chat. I did watch her latest video that she published, not on this show, but on the new editing features in Google Photos, which was really a great video, and I hope maybe she can put that in the chat. That was excellent. Now, just before we get to the questions, Huey, I have a question, and I wanted to ask you about Uncrop. Are you there?
Sure. Yep. I just put the link to it.
Yeah, I put it in as well. So, Huey, when they expand those pictures, does AI expand it? When you have that picture of the mountain range there, or those rocks, when it expanded those rocks, those aren't the real rocks that it expanded.
No, they aren't. It's just done by AI.
Up, right?
Yep.
Just AI does it. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And you can do it on it. I happen to show it just on the top and the bottom and on the sides, except for that last one. But you could have it just a small picture in the middle, and it'll put stuff on top, on both sides, and on the bottom as well.
Right. Yeah. Cool. All right. Chris, question, comment? Welcome.
Yes, so I just want to say thank you for the welcome. As you know, what Jim said earlier, that this is our favorite Monday show. And I really appreciate getting topics that we don't normally cover, like Bob's security and your medical devices. And of course, I can't live without knowing about robotic vacuum cleaners. But I just thought that there was a little bit of a hole there where it came to photos. So I'm looking forward to coming up with different topics.
We just really wanted
photos.
A female voice in the
Excellent. Yeah, that's right. That's good. Yep. Excellent. No, we look forward to that. And that'll be a great feature.
And they will be topics, not just Google Photos,
Right.
so.
Right.
Just
Well, and as we've
photos.
talked before, learning how to take pictures with your smartphone is really interesting. And there's lots of things I don't know about, and I want to get better at it, right?
Like Carl asked in the chat about portrait mode. He says whenever he takes pictures with portrait mode, they don't look very good. They're better with regular mode. And I think the key is portrait mode is for people's faces. You need to be fairly close to the people's faces, and it blurs the background. It keeps their faces nice and clear and blurs the background. So it's a very specific reason to use portrait mode.
Also, that's the fireworks tonight. Everyone can go out now with their cameras and give it a try, eh?
Yes, and I'd love to hear how you do, and if motion or live photo works
for you. Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I also figured out since making that video, I said to use night mode sparingly, because I'm not sure if I want the foreground to be clear, and that's what night mode does. But also, you can't do live or motion if you're in night mode. So it's one or the other. And I think the motion is much more valuable for fireworks. Have fun. Happy 4th.
Yeah. Carl.
Yeah, I want to thank Chris and Jim. I always tried portrait and it didn't work, but her explanation as a great instructor is that she not only told me that what it's used for close-ups, but she told me something that I was always curious about. Why is the background out of focus? And I didn't realize that occurs when you use portrait mode, which is of course one of the benefits.
Exactly. The other thing, Carl, just to remember is that not only can you, if you have an existing photo in Google Photos, you can also choose portrait and it will blur the background. So it's a way of enhancing your picture. If you've already taken the picture, you don't have to use the portrait mode on your camera. You can actually use Google Photos. Will do that for you as well.
I mean, that's awesome that she added that to it. It's not just used for close-ups, but the fact that you can now choose to have a blurred background by using that mode, which I never made the connection.
Bill, go ahead.
Yes, we went to a family reunion this weekend, and after I got back, we were looking at some of the pictures, and Karen noticed one that she didn't care for the facial feature. And I remember Chris telling us how to take a sequence of shots before you click the button. Do you recall what that is, Chris?
Yeah, that is the live or the motion. It starts, I don't know how it does it. It's magic, but if you go back to the What Does This Button Do show that we did on it, I think it was episode 223. I snapped a live photo of Jim as he went 1, 2. I snapped the shutter at 3 and he went 4 and 5. The motion photo started with 1, even though I didn't snap the shutter until 3.
Magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was live motion when I watched earlier this morning your clip there, but okay, so that's what it was, and that's what I should have done. Does that take up a lot of space?
Yes. Yeah, because it's 3 seconds of video, so video takes up a lot more space. Yes.
Okay.
But I think it's worth it. There are some little differences between phones. You have, what kind of phone do you have?
It's a Note 5.
Okay, that absolutely does a 1.5 seconds before the shutter and 1.5 seconds after.
With the correct settings.
If you're in, if it has motion photo. I think it does.
I think it does. I've used it before, and Karen has a Note 9, so we could use it too.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Get a new phone, Bill.
Do you have to, Chris, do you have to turn that feature on, or is it automatically on the phone?
You have to turn it on.
You have to turn the feature on.
But, I just leave it on.
Right.
I don't have to turn it on all the time. It's already on.
But she has plenty of room on the phone too. That's
right. Irving, go ahead.
Hi, going back to the fireworks. Were you taking those pictures live at the scene, or were you taking it off of a TV screen?
It was live on the beach. several years ago. So it was not with the phones that I have today. Why?
Well, I can't be at the fireworks show, say tomorrow. How would it work trying it on a TV screen?
Give it a shot.
Sure.
I've taken pictures from the TV screen and I thought they came out okay.
Yeah, perfectly acceptable, depending on how you want to use them.
Thanks.
Richard, go ahead.
Yes, I'm running out of space on my iPhone because I'm taking a lot more pictures now, and I'm just about to buy a new phone. I have 32. Should I get a 64 or 128 or 256 iPhone for the next one so I can take videos and things that I really want to take?
I would
Bigger
say
is better.
always get the more memory. You know, the phone is going to last you a few years. And if you want to keep everything on the phone, which a lot of people do, 128 or 256 is going to do it. You know, unless money is a real issue. But, you know, 128 is becoming pretty standard
yeah.
these days.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Irene.
Thank you. Yes, I have an iPhone and I leave the live target shut off. I don't like the movement per se. I just want photographs, but quite often it comes up with the movement anyway, even though it's turned off. Does it make sense? It doesn't.
No.
Okay.
If it's turned off, it should be off.
Yeah, I can't think of when it would do motion, even if the live is not on.
Unless you're mistakenly taking some video.
But now just remember,
if you press and hold the button.
If you press and hold the shutter button,
do.
you get video.
That could be it. I bet that's it. Thank you.
Good one.
Yeah, and it also maybe an update might cause it as well.
Maybe.
But I also want to give another plug for live photos. You say that I don't like the movement, I just want photos. One of my favorite reasons for live photo is when I take a picture of people, especially multiple people. How many times have they blinked and so they have their eyes closed?
Or there's no smile.
If you took a motion photo, a live photo, you could go through those 3 seconds and find the frame where everybody has the right expression on their face.
Okay. Thank you.
That's great for, group photos, especially.
Jim Glass.
Jim.
Is the that live video or live photo the same as what used to be called a burst mode?
No, actually on Pixels, it is on Pixels, it's called Top Shot. And it is kind of like a burst, but on iPhones and Samsung, it is actually video. It's not, or it is a series of shots that are so close together, 30 frames per second, that it is a video. No, it's not burst. Burst still exists, and it's a different method.
Okay, thank you. I have a question. Huey, could you either post in the chat or give me the address for that cartoon program? You give it one more time and I forgot where I put it.
I'll have to go find it. But yeah, it's a program I think I purchased, but it's not expensive.
Okay, could you just
I'll find it. Yep.
Email it to me. I'd appreciate certainly.
Well, I may be able to find it and put it in the chat.
Okay, by the way, I'm now working on my 4th Samsung Ultra. Just thought you'd find that interesting.
Oh.
And I can't trade it in for a Pixel. It has to be the same mode.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, you mean you turned it in for problems 3 times?
Yep. That's the 4th.
Yeah.
The 4th one should be coming July 5th, just in time to mess the 4th of July. But yes, I've returned three phones because of glitches. And even I was at Verizon the day before, they put a new SIM card in, they changed a whole bunch of stuff, and I can't make or take a phone call. So I'm getting a new
I would
phone.
say there's
Whoopee.
something wrong. They got to do something for you there.
Anyway,
All right.
thank you guys.
Bob,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Yeah, I keep tabs on how much room I have left on the phone because I like the extra pictures. And because it's already up on YouTube and backed up in a dozen other places, I really don't have to have everything on my phone. I'm more happy having the extra pictures and the ability for videos than I would be if I just had pictures.
Which I suppose brings up the question with Google Photos for sure, is that you can back, it will clean up all the photos. It removes them all off your phone if they're backed up to the cloud. So you can certainly clean up your phone and give you a lot more room.
I get a reminder every so often to let me know that, hey, all these photos, you've got them in two places, and
Right.
I just get rid of them.
But as Chris always says, you should have a third option, and you should make sure they're backed up to another device rather than just trusting the cloud. Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, Jim brought up the burst mode. I've occasionally hit that by mistake, and you might want to add what have I done wrong, and when is the appropriate time to use burst mode?
Good topic for Chris. That just may be you just may seeing that coming up in one of our sessions. That's a great topic. Good idea, Carl. More to come on that one. Jim, go ahead.
I got an email supposedly from Google stating that as of July 12th or something, something in Google Photos is going away, and save your photos, download them. What's going on with that, guys?
It's called Album Archive.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with Google Photos. It just sounds like it. And I do a video or just do an article? No, I did a video on it. If you go to, well, or maybe it was in the last newsletter. If you get Geeks on Tour newsletter, there was an article in there about exactly that email from Google that Album Archive is going away. Album Archive was just a Google extra storage location where they stuck photos from old systems that are no longer, like Hangouts. If you ever used Hangouts and you shared photos in Hangouts, Hangouts is no more. So where are those photos? They're in Album Archive. But since Hangouts is no more, they figure you probably don't need the photos and they're going to get rid of Album Archive. You should go look at your Album Archive and see if there's anything there that you want, and you can download them. Okay. But it's nothing to worry about. It doesn't have anything to do with Google Photos.
Thank you. Well, by the way, just a side note, the Note 5 is no longer supported. My wife has one, and we tried to get an update and to download something, and it said the Note 5 is no longer supported by Samsung or what have you. So I'm done. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, that's Huey, episode 170. We did it.
Yep, we got through it. It's a wrap.
We got through it. It's a wrap. Want to thank everyone for coming. Don't forget the premiere video, of course, featuring Chris Gould, will be on at 1:30. It'll be the Google Photos update she did last year, which a lot of good information in there. So be sure and watch that along with the other two features we have. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter, please do that, because that's the way we keep information that's the way we send information out to you. Don't forget, we have a show this Thursday, Tech for Senior Live. We'll be talking about all the latest news of the week, and there's lots of news out there this week. And then we'll see you back again. I'll be back next Monday with, of course, everyone. I'll be emceeing next week, and then I'll take the following 2 weeks off. Huey, are you ready for that? Can you manage?
Yeah, and I also have a busy week. Wednesday night is the Sarasota Technology User Group, or STUGS, meeting, and Judy Tallur from APCUG is doing a presentation on gadgets in the kitchen and using technology in the kitchen. So that should be very interesting. And then next Sunday is my WinSig.
There you go. Busy week.
Yep.
Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for coming, and welcome Chris and Jim Gould. Thank you.
Oh yes, by all means.
Yeah.
What a great addition to our show.
I think
we've got great people now. We've had great people, and now we even have more.
That's right.
Have a happy Fourth.
Well done. Happy weekend. All right. Bye everyone. See you next week.
Bye everybody.
Thank you.